Meanwhile, there is a statement from the Israeli President Netanyahu. Iran has made a big mistake. He says they will pay for attacking Israel. They shared a photo of it in this way. Actually, it is also very clear here. As you said, these parts are separated and there is a backside from the part we saw in that Jordanian field.
The front part, so there's fuel in part of it.
It was used for the first time in Israel, the first time.
There is fuel in a part of it. It flies up to a certain altitude with that fuel, but in the front part, there is the part with the explosive we mentioned. I don't know, you know, Colonel Unal is one of the experienced people in this field when he examines the images. It's less of an image than MKX, if you want to give me something like that. When Israel struck, he was saying something today, Saleh, you said you had one too, you know, the explosion caused by that explosion when Israel keeps hitting.
According to the Nasrallah attack.
In the Nasrallah attack, let's compare that image with the image just now.
You guys keep preparing that footage side by side. In the meantime, give us footage of the Israeli army's ground operation in Lebanon, because new images have been released. On the one hand, we are talking about how these events will affect the ongoing limited ground operation in Lebanon. At that point, there are new images shared. We see that the ground operation continues there. Now here, the IDF even shared the information that more than 100 Hezbollah members were neutralized.
Look at this image.
Nasrallah attack.
Footage from the Nasrallah attack.
Of course here.
Namely,
1 ton of 80.
80.
It was thrown, wasn't it? I mean, it's an unbelievable sight. The buildings that were destroyed.
Unbelievable debris. Who knows how many civilians are under that debris, by the way?
How many people lost their lives?
Well, of course, the bunker buster.
Location. That can get underneath you?
A bomb we call a bunker buster bomb.
For very long periods of
There's a
time.
version called a population bomb or a population bomb.
We have a version. We even did a study on it. Maybe we'll look at it in the coming minutes.
But of course, on the other side, there are those missiles that fall much more intermittently, the Fata missiles.
What did we just say? Ammunition, it matters where it hits. The one in MK, I'd say, margin of error, not to go outside the building. So you're saying, frame it, there's enough margin of error to stay within that frame. It gives you 100% success, see? And here are the other images, see?
Yes, that's it. That's the one.
AKSE. Now, if you somehow make this guidance system tail-guided again, it first oscillates freely, then enters tail guidance and goes to the point you specify as coordinates. If it is a laser, you direct it from below, or you direct it from another aircraft somewhere. Therefore, the ammunition sits on the laser light, and wherever the laser light points, it slides over that rail like a rail and goes directly to the target. Here, more than 20 MKACO jagged missile flowers have been fired, not just one. More than 20 have been fired, and so there is a site there.
This one.
That they are destroying the whole site.
This one? That's the one.
Yeah. Yes, there is a site. We captured the whole site, and it is referred to as the command center of Hezbollah, and it is indeed most probably the command center because all the people who died were Hezbollah leaders at the meeting. So it seems to be a command center. Plus maybe in some of the buildings again, as Israel claims, and as it has actually shaped there with artificial intelligence. It is also understood that some of the missile capabilities, both the launcher and the missile itself, were stored through the cellars created under some of the buildings. Because when you look at the explosions, there are actually successive explosions on this thing, on the target. The successive explosions are actually a chain of explosions that occur not from the ammunition itself, but from the place where the ammunition hits. That chain of explosions may also be related to the explosion, so to speak, of a warehouse there.
This one, that's it. That's it.
So now,
and
of
it's
course,
thermobaric, right?
some of the penetrator bombs contain thermobaric properties. Why is that? Because you will create a fire. You actually melt the iron of the building with the heat rise. The building collapses as it is. In other words, the aim is that either the static equilibrium of the building is disrupted and collapses after the shaking in the building with the blast effect caused by the impact effect, or the building collapses in free fall after the iron of the columns holding the building there melts with the heat reaching up to 1,600 and 1,700 degrees, as I mentioned earlier. So whichever way you use, the goal is achieved. Why? What do you want? You want this building to collapse and disappear with its contents.
Yes, you do.
The rule is clear, according to this rule. You use ammunition. You drop it from an airplane, you drop it from a distance. In other words, there's also such a thing as that plane docking there. At the moment, we know that a plane can easily do this from 200 kilometers away with what we call standoff, that is, with remote launched munitions.